Hi, I know a lot of you haven't probably broken down a chicken before. A lot of times I like to cook them whole, and then you can get like 2 or 3 meals out of them. You can eat the dark meat the first night, cut up the white meat, put it in a casserole or soup, thing like that, and then the bones you make broth with, and then so I'm going to show you how to get all the meat off the bones, and I've done it a lot of times, so hopefully this helps you. Okay, I've already gotten one leg off. I'll take the other leg. This is how to break down a chicken. Okay, so this has a tendon. Well, take the skin off. Not everybody likes that. Okay, so it kind of comes off in slabs like this. Okay. This is just a rotisserie chicken. There's sometimes, yeah, there it is. Like a tendon or something. So it just kind of comes off and pretty nice, and then you're left with this is all just cartilage. Sometimes this comes off with the meat and sometimes it doesn't. You have to be careful. There's like, looks like a needle. The other one came off with the meat. Okay, so you got the legs. Then you can take the wing. Okay, so the wing has the tip. There's really no meat in the tip at all. It's just a bone. Okay, so this is pretty much like the chicken leg, only there's 2 bones in it. So the cartilage is cooked pretty good. You can just pull the cartilage tip off. And then all this is meat. Okay, so you can choose to leave the skin on or not. I'll probably use this for soup, so I'm going to pull that out. Okay. There's another chicken I did before this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, well, we have the wing, the top half of the wing. It's like a mini drumstick. So you've got a little bit of meat on that. This one has some tendons too. So this one's a little bit harder to do, but I guess it's called a drumette. So that one's done. Okay, so you're going to just take the breast off, or the thigh. Okay, this one had the backbone come with it. So you can just kind of, this bird was cooked a lot. I won't always do that. Okay, so that was part of the pelvis, but the thigh has a lot of just kind of like veins and fat running through it, so you kind of got to pull that out. Here's the bone here. So you can get the okay, so that's what that looks like. basically just kind of get the meat off. Sometimes there's like fat on it, you kind of like pull it off like that. So I'm just going to look through for some of the things that you don't want, but I think this one's pretty clean. Not a very fat bird, I guess. And then there is something in the knuckle here. As this is cooked, it looks red, but there's something about the thigh that piece is always reddish. I don't know if you want to choose to eat it or not. I don't like to waste an animal. So anyway, yeah, you always want to make sure the temperature is good in the thigh. Yeah, see what I mean? This is a little fat lob here. Okay. That's the thigh bone. Okay, that's the back. Sometimes I find it's easier just to take the skin off so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to take off the other wing. Sometimes they get really tough and dried out, so not the best for soup, but anyway, so you can see that bone get out the way. I usually take this end off, it's just easier. Pull this bone out. There you go. The little drumette. You really can get a lot off if you try. I like to pick the chickens really well. Okay, I'll take this out of the way. I'll do this one. Okay, so down under here there's like an oyster shaped. There's the end of that one. So this came off with the thigh, but there's one here, and I must have got one with the thigh. Anyway, this is just fat. Okay. It's right here, I think. ADHD, stop. Okay. This is cold, it's way easier when it's warm. I recommend having short fingernails for this. Okay, so just kind of burn yourself if it's hot though. Just kind of lift that off. Okay, there's a chicken breast. Sometimes there's cartilage here, little bone, wishbone. I think that's all out of there. So there we have it. This you can slice it. See the grains are going that way. So you want to slice it this way so it's more tender. And this piece, the grain's going this way, so you kind of... Okay, and this is the tenderloin. And here. And this, sometimes it has a tendon attached, but stayed with the carcass. Get all the meat out of there. Okay. Yeah, here's the other end of that wishbone. Careful, some of these bones are kind of sharp in here. Don't want to stab yourself. Okay, so that came off pretty good. Sometimes there's a little cartilage piece in the middle there. I already got the wishbone, that would be there. And again, just slice it this way against the grain. It's actually pretty easy once you've done this a few times. Yeah, that piece is staying with the bird. Okay. So yeah. And this one, the grains go the long way too, so you'd want to cut it that way. And there's really not much left on here. Some in the back shoulder blade area. But this is where the bones get thin and kind of pokey. So get a little bit of meat there, you don't want to waste. Not much, but some on the tail. Sometimes the tail is just all fat, but yeah. This is that shoulder blade. See how thin that is? Okay. And what's left, you can put all that in a crock pot with some water, some celery, some carrots, an onion, and maybe a bay leaf and salt and pepper, and it makes the best broth ever. Just let it cook for at least a couple hours and strain it. So anyway, I've got a kid probably jumping in their bed upstairs. My husband's on duty for that. So yeah, I mean, the thigh meat is kind of the ugliest meat on the chicken, but it also kind of tastes the best. I like the leg. The legs the most, but anyway, this is a really large rotisserie chicken actually. The chickens we used to grow, we'd get even bigger than that. Sometimes I get mixed up. Okay, this piece here on the thigh, it usually has fat to it, so I just kind of run my hands on it. Look, cleans it real good. Anyway, so this is 2 rotisserie chickens and some stuff to make bone broth. Well, hopefully it was helpful to watch how I take the meat off the chicken. Good luck on your next dinner.